Hey guys, welcome back to Designed Here.
This is a homemade ceramic pot, and it may look like simple, but it requires a very lengthy process. In the last video, I showed you how the Lenca pottery is made in Siguatepeque, Honduras by some wonderfully skilled ladies who allowed me to work alongside them. And today, I'm going to be showing you the 6 easy steps to making this at home. The first step in turning this dirt into this piece of ceramic is finding the dirt. Depending on where you live, the soil in your backyard or other source will be poorer or richer in its content of clay. However, even a small amount of clay can be collected from
Virtually any source.
If you're lazy, you could just buy your clay, but my source is a clay wall. Okay, so we got our dirt. Now we got to process it and turn it into moldable clay. And there are 2 main ways of doing that. The first is the wet process, which obviously uses water. And the second is the dry process, which is what I will be doing today. I'll leave a link in the description for other videos that I will be making that go more into depth on the 2 processes. To do the dry process, we need to grind this dirt into a fine powder that can be then mixed with water and used to make the piece. And to grind it, I could use a tile and stone, but I'm going to use this old corn grinder. Now we're going to slowly feed this dirt in and grind it into this powder. Now it's not very fine now, but every time it goes through the grinder, I'll tighten this, and that will make the powder finer and finer. I got the first round of grinding done, and now I have to sift it to get any larger particles, rocks, roots, whatever, out of it. And I actually only ground half of the bucket, and that will be plenty. So now we can use this to sift. To sift, we just dump this powder through a strainer. This is after sifting and this is before, so obviously there is a bit of a difference in the purity. This is what was left over. Now we need to add water to this powder so it can be moldable clay. And we're gonna have to do this slowly and carefully so that it doesn't get clumpy or that it's not too dry or too wet, which is even worse. So there was a bit of a complication, and I added too much water to the powder, and it turned into a soup, a useless soup. And in order to use it, I'm either gonna have to put it through a bunch of other steps to dry it out, or I can grind more powder. Okay, so now I gotta take this slop and knead it into something workable. The next very, very important, vital step is to add sand. Now, obviously sand is not clay, but it will allow the thing to be fired without exploding, because clay, when it heats up, it wants to get bigger and when it cools down, it wants to shrink again. And all that can cause some tension and can cause cracks or exploding. Yeah. So adding sand allows for wiggle room. The mixture of sand to clay is about 1/4 sand and 3/4 clay. So now I'm going to turn this lump of clay into 3 identical coasters. And it's 3 because there's always a chance that the piece can explode in the kiln. It's a 1 in 10 chance, okay? So, yep, just for simplicity's sake, it's gonna be a coaster, and let's get to it. It's a new day, and today we're going to start with the 4th step of making pottery, which is polishing. Polishing is not necessarily a vital step in the process, but can add to the strength and physical appearance of the piece. The clay must dry before polishing until leather hard. Leather hard means that the clay can bend, but it resists bending. This piece has reached the hardness of leather and is now ready for the first part of the polishing with a rough stone. Now that doesn't mean like a piece of gravel, because that would be too harsh on the surface. This stone is, I don't know how to describe it. It's smoothish, but it's not like glass. And you're just going to pass that over the surface to smooth out any rocks that may still be in it, push any sand down deeper, and it will make the surface smoother. After the rough stone polish at leather hard, the piece must dry even more so until bone dry, as it said, and it will not be wet at all. Then you will polish it with your spoon or other smooth tool. Okay, the pieces have reached bone dry, and now they are ready to be polished with the hard smooth tool. I'm only going to polish one side and leave the other unpolished so you can see the comparison in the end. The 5th and easiest step is drying. It's pretty much that. You just let it sit until you're ready to fire. It's very important that it is fully dried because any water vapor, well, any water that's in it that will turn into water vapor in the kiln will want to expand, and that can make the piece break. It's the 3rd day of making pottery, and today we're going to be firing. Firing can be the most dangerous and hard step of all of them because it's well known that fire and heat are hot. While a gas or electric kiln could suffice, a simple wood fire also works. Furthermore, you don't even have to fire your pieces. Now, they won't be waterproof or real ceramics after that. Okay, all that being said, let's go fire. Firing, you want to preheat the pieces so that any extra moisture that still might be in there gets baked out. Okay, the pieces are preheated, and I'm preheating the bucket that will protect it and the rocks that will prop the bucket up. The coals have burned out, meaning that we can prepare the bed. Okay, so the pieces have been readied. Now we just need to bury this in wood and start the fire up again. It's been almost an hour and it's still going. I've added a little bit of fuel, but it doesn't need that much. Okay, so it's almost been 2 hours. I'm gonna clear away some of the ashes and coals to see if the pieces survived. So the fire got so hot that it melted the can. I was not expecting that. I hope that wasn't too much on the pieces. Okay, so I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is they fired. I mean, they are officially ceramics, but the bad news is they all exploded. The polished side, as you can see, is much smoother. And then the other side is, of course, not smooth. It's not really what I was expecting, but it's what I got, and I gotta deal with it. There may still be pieces hidden in the ashes. I need to dig through it when they're cooled off, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Fired it again, painfully so, and hopefully stuff survived. Okay, I melted the can again. Oh, that was a good can before this. Oop, that's a good sign. It's a lot of ash this time.
Wow.
Hear that? It's a piece of ceramic. So, I succeeded. They're still hot, but they look beautiful, and they are definitely pottery. They sound like the ceramic that they should be. And if I dump some water on them, it just eats it. It doesn't melt. While there were a lot of setbacks and problems, I am proud of what I was able to achieve at last. But I also hope that you learned something from this and that you will be inspired to go off and do it yourself. I hope this video can inspire you to never stop being creative, keep solving problems, and to never hesitate to persevere. Later.